Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Some of you may be familiar with my Water Relief Solid Lotion. It's a recipe that I shared on my Patreon campaign and it's a very popular product that I sell on my website all the time. It's a solid stick form lotion that specifically targets eczema, sensitive skin, bug bites, pain, inflammation, has really good healing properties like cocoa butter, rice bran oil, and also calendula and arnica infusions. So this solid form lotion works on contact with your skin. So once you apply it and it starts to warm, then you can rub it into your skin. And for a while now, I've been wanting to make more of a spreadable cream type of my Water Relief lotion. So carrying a lot of the same properties and a lot of the same ingredients, but just in more of a thick cream type consistency versus a solid lotion. So I've come up with a formula that I think you're really gonna like, and it has all of those same benefits that the stick lotion has, except it's gonna be in a nice thick spreadable cream. And in this video today, I'm gonna be taking you through my step-by-step process of how to make this cream with a nice visual tutorial. And if you want the full written recipe and tutorial, please head on over to my Patreon campaign where you can unlock this recipe and 2 years of archived recipes for just one $5 pledge. If you like this video and you like this content, please remember to give this video a thumbs up. Please leave a comment below, share this video with a friend, and please subscribe to my channel. This all really helps out my channel analytics and helps me to bring you the content that you really want to see. All right, let's make some eczema cream. Okay, I've got my gloves on, and it's important to note that I've got a hairnet on, and everything has been completely sanitized down and cleaned down with a bleach and water solution, including everything that's going to be going into or touching my finished product. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is putting some hemp seed oil into this container. Now, hemp seed oil is really good for inflammation. It's known for that. It's got a lot of really great properties that help inflammation. So we are just going to be putting a little bit into the top of this double boiler, and then we're going to be infusing it, and I'll show you what I mean by that. I am going to be putting in more here. I'm not even going to be weighing it out because I'm going to be putting in more here than I actually need for my recipe, and then I'll just save what I don't use for another project. But I want to make sure I have plenty in there because my infusion will soak up a little bit of the oil. So I got these tea bags from Nature's Garden, and I'm going to experiment with these today. I haven't actually ever used them, so I'm going to experiment with them today, and I'm going to be filling them up with my flower petals. So in this infusion today, we are going to be using, just like in the solid lotion form, we are going to be using calendula petals, which is marigold, dried out marigold, and we're going to be using arnica. So the reason we're using calendula is because it's very, very good for redness and inflammation. It's known for its anti-redness and inflammation properties. So these little tea bags are awfully small. That is the one little downfall here I've noticed with these when I opened them. So we are just going to go ahead and fill a few of them with the calendula petals. If you guys are familiar with arnica and arnica creams, arnica is great for pain. It helps with muscle pain, bruising, and that type of aches and pains and things like that. So we're just going to go ahead and fill this little tea baggie with our arnica flowers. Cinch that off. So now I've got some little tea bags ready to go into my oil infusion. So what I'm going to do here is just go ahead and pop in my arnica, and I'm going to pop in the calendula. And then we're going to go ahead and put this over a double boiler for about 2 hours. And I will bring you over to the stove and show you what that looks like as it's infusing. All right, so here are my calendula and arnica petals, and they're just slowly infusing over this double boiler. And after about 2 hours, we'll have a really nice infusion. So we're going to go ahead and make this recipe a little extra special and add some more infusion in the way of a tea. So instead of using plain distilled water for this recipe, we're going to be making a tea out of the arnica and the calendula petals. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get the water prepared with our tea bags while our oils are infusing. I'm going to go ahead and place my tea bags in this little container here, and then we're going to go ahead and weigh out some distilled water. I'm going to go ahead and weigh out a little bit more than I need because we are going to lose a little bit of the water to the tea bags. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is right before my oil infusion is done, I'm going to pop this into the microwave for a few minutes until my water matches the temperature of the oil and we get a nice tea. Okay, so my hemp oil is all the way done infusing, and I've gone ahead and weighed off what I'm going to need for this recipe. So the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and start to weigh in the other oil or heated phase ingredients that are going to go into this recipe. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and add in the shea butter. Now, shea butter is not in the solid lotion form that I shared with you earlier, but we're adding it for its moisturizing properties, and this will also help a little bit with the spreadability and the skin feel, and it's got really, really good healing and antioxidant properties. So we're going to go ahead and add this in. Okay. And then to this, we're going to be adding in a little bit of cocoa butter. Now, cocoa butter is in the solid lotion recipe, and we love cocoa butter for this in this recipe because, again, it's got very, very nourishing, skin-loving properties, and it's very healing. This is the butter that they use to help treat scars, inflammation, redness. So we are going to be adding in cocoa butter just like I have in the solid lotion form. This is just full of antioxidants, really. Okay, and then to this, I'm going to be adding in my emulsifier. Now, you can use regular emulsifying wax. I have done this recipe before with regular emulsifying wax, but today we're going to be using Glyceryl stearate, SE, and SE stands for self-emulsifying. And the reason I'm using Glyceryl stearate today is because it is super creamy. It helps with thickness. And we're not going to be using any stearic acid in this recipe. So I would like to help thicken it up a little bit with the Glyceryl stearate. And also, I just really like the skin feel of this. It is just basically is a monoester of glycerin and stearic acid, and it's vegetable based. Okay, and then to this, we're going to be adding in some beeswax. Now, beeswax is what you see me put in the solid lotion form, and we're actually going to be using it in this one as well. This is going to help to seal in the moisture from this cream. It's also going to provide a barrier on the skin. So it's going to help to keep in those good ingredients that we want close to our skin when we are having some sort of inflammation or redness. And also beeswax is very healing as well. Okay, and that's going to do it for our heated phase ingredients. As you can see, we have a lot of really good butters and oils in here. So we're going to go ahead and heat this up until everything is melted down, and I'll bring you back when my water infusion, my tea, and my oils are melted down and sitting at the same temperature. Okay, now that everything is melted down and infused, we've got this beautiful calendula and arnica tea, and we've got our beautiful oils and butters all melted down and infused, and we're ready to go ahead and create our emulsion. Now, the important thing to remember about this recipe, the trickiest part, is to make sure that your tea is not way cooler than your oils, because beeswax has such a high melt point. And it's also tricky because you have to make sure you're not overheating that shea butter. So you want both of these things to be in the 165 to 160 range before you create your emulsion. If the water is too cool, if the tea is too cool, what's going to happen is that beeswax is going to start to clump up and harden right inside the mixture. And so really we're going for a very homogeneous mixture. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and pour this in slowly. We're going to give it a hand stir, and then we're going to use the stick blender. So right away you can see an emulsion starting to form. That's that beautiful cream lotion starting to form. And then we're just going to go ahead and get the stick blender, and we're going to pulse this on low for a few minutes until we get a nice Okay, now that this is nice and emulsified, we did go ahead and pulse that for about 2 minutes. We're going to go ahead and set this aside and get our cool down ingredients and extracts weighed out and ready to be added into this gorgeous cream. Now, just on a side note here, isn't the color of that just beautiful? It's got that nice creamy yellow color from the infusions and the beautiful hemp seed oil. So we're just going to go ahead and get the scale back out, and we're going to get a little beaker and start weighing off our cool down ingredients. Now, the first thing we're going to do is weigh off some calendula extract. Now, the calendula extract is a water-soluble ingredient, and this is going to give us an extra kick of that calendula powder and help with that redness, irritation, inflammation. So we're going to go ahead and add this in, and look at that gorgeous color. And I know my mom, she really suffers from eczema pretty badly on her hands, and she has used products in the past with calendula extract in it, and it's worked wonders for her. So we're going to use this calendula. I can't wait to get her feedback also on this cream. So we're going to be putting in our calendula extract, and then then we're going to be adding in some glycerin to this recipe. Now, glycerin is going to be great in giving the cream a powerful humectant property. So this is going to draw moisture to the skin, and then that beeswax that we added in is really going to seal in the moisture, then help with the glycerin. next thing we're going to do is go ahead and add in our preservative. Now we're using optiphen. We're using just regular optiphen, the kind with the high temperature, because we're going to be adding this in. You just want to make sure this is the optiphen that doesn't degrade until it hits 176 degrees. So we can add this into our mixture at a little bit higher of a temperature because it's not going to degrade at or below 176 degrees. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and weigh off our essential oils that we're using for this recipe. Now the essential oils here are exactly the same essential oils that we use in the stick lotion form of this, the solid lotion form of this. I'm going to go ahead and get my little tiny scale out here because this helps me with the smaller amounts, and I want to make sure I'm getting correct amount. So we're going to go ahead and then what I'm going to do here is use my little pipettes, and we are using a blend of lavender and tea tree. Lavender is great for its skin soothing properties, its calming properties. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to be adding in is the tea tree. And tea tree is known for its antibacterial properties, and also it does help with things like inflammation and redness. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and add this straight into my cool down ingredients. I'm going to give it a good mix, and you'll notice with the glycerin it'll start to cloud up a little bit. That's okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a quick temperature read here on my cream, see where we are with that. And if we are below that 176 mark, we'll be able to go ahead and add in the cool down ingredients. Okay, great. We are sitting right around 135 degrees, which is just perfect. That'll help everything, all the cool down ingredients to combine well with this cream. And also none of these cool down ingredients will be damaged. So we're going to go ahead and slowly pour this in. Get my spatula, just kind of scrape that out. And then we're going to go ahead and give this another blend. And I'm going to stop right here and just kind of scrape down my sides. You'll notice it starts to set up along the sides pretty quickly. So as it's doing that, you can just go ahead and scrape down the sides with the spatula, kind of give it a hand stir, make sure everything's getting well incorporated, and then blend for a little bit longer. All right, now we're going to go ahead and let this set up, and it does take several hours to set up, so don't get worried if it's still pretty thin or liquidy after an hour or two even, especially in the warmer weather months where things take a little bit longer to set up. Between the beeswax and the glyceryl stearate, you're going to get a very thick, beautiful, lovely cream. So I'm going to bring you back when this recipe has set up completely and we're ready to go ahead and put it into our containers. Okay, so it's been several hours here and this cream has just set up to a very beautiful consistency, so I want to go ahead and give you a close-up on that. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Thick, luscious, a nice, beautiful, natural pale yellow color or ivory color. So, so pretty. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this jarred up. So what I'm using today are these 4-ounce PET containers that I got from Nature's Garden. And I thought 4 ounces was a really good size for these, because these would be something you would use for more like spot treatment. I mean, you could use it as an overall body cream, but you know, you would probably use it more like a spot treatment or a treatment type cream. So we're gonna go ahead and just fill these little containers. And also just wanted to remind you, if you're a patron or you are thinking about becoming a patron, we have a awesome special offer right now. It comes as a Patreon benefit. So we have a $5 off and a $10 off rewards code for onlinelabels.com. And you guys know how much I love onlinelabels.com. I use them for all my labeling needs. And you can use their design software. They have perfect size labels for every container that you're needing to put a label on. And so they have teamed up with me, and we are offering rewards codes as part of your Patreon benefits. So you will get either a $5 or a $10 off reward code when you sign up or when your benefits are due, depending on what tier you're in. So it's just an awesome benefit, because if you're in the $5 tier and you use a $5 off reward code, that's basically a 1 month free off of your Patreon membership. So it's a pretty good deal. So I'm just filling these to the very top, and I did allow this to set up to room temperature. Okay, everybody, they're all bottled up and looking just gorgeous, and I wanted to go ahead and give you a little bit of a product demo here so you can see how it spreads in and how easily it goes into the skin. So it has a really light, kind of an airy consistency, and that's because of the glyceryl stearate. Even though we do have some butters in there, it's got a very light, airy texture to it, and it just feels amazing. So this would be great. See how nicely that goes in with no white streaking at all. This would be absolutely great for chapped hands, wind-blown skin. If you have an eczema flare-up anywhere on your body, your hands, even your face, this just feels really good. It's providing a little bit of a barrier coating I can feel from the beeswax, and it's just excellent. It smells very fresh, clean, and almost herbally or medicinal. So I really am loving this cream. This would be a great one for people to use for sunburns, insect bites, and even in the winter time for after skiing or being out in the cold all day. So I really hope you loved this video. I hope you like this cream. And if you did like this video, please remember to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below, share this video with a friend, and subscribe to my channel. Catch you on the next video. Bye.